One last question. Our health minister, Patricia Hadju, said that anyone who is asymptomatic would be given a face mask like this at customs. Did you see customs agents giving any face masks?
I have great doubts that anybody symptomatic is going to go and tell the customs that I'm symptomatic. So I really doubt it.
So much for the honor system.
Yeah. I mean, most Canadians do have the honor system, but I mean, they cannot. I mean, how are you going to control people? I have no idea.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Pearson International Airport in Toronto at the international arrivals at Terminal 3. Well, folks, I'm here once again to find out what indeed is going on in terms of international arrivals, particularly those coming to Canada from China. Now, you might think that that's a thing of the past. After all, Air Canada suspended flights to and from China last month. And last Friday, we were told that Justin Trudeau was closing the border. Remember that? But it's not the case. At least 5 to 10 flights from China are coming into Canada on a daily basis. In fact, there's one coming in from Shanghai at 1 o'clock and another coming in to this terminal at 2:40 from Chongqing via Beijing. And I just want to see, first of all, if any of these passengers are being subjected to enhanced screening measures, because that has not been the case in all my other visits to Pearson International Airport beginning in January. And I also want to get the opinion of other travelers about our policy. You see, if you fly into Toronto from a flight originating in China, and then you want to fly out to, say, Vancouver or Montreal or anywhere else, you simply get on a connecting flight and off you go. In any event, these flights are going to arrive at any moment. I've got my mic on a mini hockey stick to maintain social distancing etiquette, and we'll see what the people arriving have to say. Hello, sir. Did you just come off the flight from China?
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, did you go through any kind of enhanced screening measures coming through customs?
No.
Extra screening? I don't think so. No.
It's normal, just normal.
Oh, it's just normal, even though there's a global pandemic.
I didn't really notice, but I do get some papers.
Did anyone take your temperature here at the airport, ma'am?
No.
Did they take your temperature remotely, perhaps?
No, didn't. No.
Now, did they take your temperature at all or anything like that?
I didn't notice.
Do you think it's the screening is more rigorous in China than here in Canada? Is it stricter in China?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah.
We're just wondering if there's any new measures in place with the international flights.
You're going to have to contact our media relations group, and they'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
With all due respect, so they never get back to us, but I'm just wondering why there isn't temperature being taken of arrivals to Canada. Like we hear from people coming from China, from Pakistan, that they're doing it in their airports. So why not our airport?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to defer to communications for that. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you anyways. Oh, hi folks. Are you just coming in from the flight from London?
Yes.
We're just asking people, ma'am, if did you notice any enhanced screening measures when you landed in Toronto?
Oh, yes.
What did you see?
There are people, giving you pamphlets and telling you that it's mandatory to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
Yeah, a little bit. They passed pamphlets out, and they informed us about the quarantine measures.
Okay,
But they asked about coughing or anything like that. That's about it, I think.
Yes, just they gave me the pamphlet to read it if to quarantine myself, for 14 days.
Quite a few. We got all the paperwork, and they asked you the questions.
Well, they gave us papers and they stood far away from us.
Did anyone take your temperature remotely?
No.
Do you know if anyone remotely took your temperature?
Nobody.
Did they actually take your temperature remotely to see if you had a fever or not? Or?
Not that I was aware of, but could have been. I didn't see it.
And no one took your temperature remotely?
No. It's on merit, I guess. Yeah.
Did you notice if anyone remotely took your temperature, for example?
No.
And are you all going to go home and self-quarantine right away?
Yeah, we've made that arrangement, yeah.
And evidently it means you can't even stop for gas or gasoline. You got to go straight home. Were you told that?
We've got the paper. I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
You can't even stop for gas or groceries. You have to go home.
Yeah.
And they told you that.
No. But I knew it.
Oh, they didn't tell us that, but they said, no, isolate yourself. Yeah.
One other thing, the health minister, Patricia Hadju, she just said today that any passengers with asymptomatic signs of the coronavirus are given masks here in Canada. Did you notice anyone being given masks by the customs people?
No.
No. Okay then. Did you see anyone being given a mask?
No. But no. Yeah.
No, nothing. I just saw antiseptic, they put this gel to just antiseptic, that was all.
Did you see anyone at customs handing out face masks to anyone?
Didn't notice, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have great doubts that anybody symptomatic is going to go and tell the customs that I'm symptomatic. So I really doubt it.
So much for the honor system.
Yeah. I mean, most Canadians do have the honor system, but I mean, they cannot. I mean, how are you going to control people? I have no idea.
A story broke recently that there's a loophole in the quarantine regulations that passengers, say from China, which is the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, they can immediately get on a connecting flight here at Pearson and fly to, say, Alberta or to Vancouver, and yet we're living in a city where you're not allowed to go to a public park or a playground or a sports field. Do you think they should close that loophole?
I think so. I saw about 100 of Chinese in London. They were all together, but I think they were separated by the airport authority. So that was a good thing that they didn't mix it up with other travelers.
If there's a practical way to do it, yes, but I doubt that there's a practical way to do that other than screening them upon arrival.
Which they're not, right?
Well, okay, then they should be.
Well, folks, for me, this is getting to seem like deja vu all over again. Since January, I've been coming to this terminal and this airport, and there is no enhanced screening going on unless you count the fact that being given a pamphlet and sometimes being given a verbal talking to is enhanced screening. I don't think that cuts the mustard given the global pandemic that we're dealing with. So all in all, this remains for me, folks, an exercise in frustration. It is all about a government that is downright negligent when it comes to protecting Canadian citizens, which should be the prime directive. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, unlike the mainstream media, we don't receive a nickel of government funding, nor would we take it. If it were offered, we depend on you, our beloved viewers, for your donations. So if you can, please visit helprebelnews.com. That's helprebelnews.com. And if you can kick in a couple of bucks, we would greatly appreciate it, because that way we can continue to bring you the other side of the story.